Lil Bibby and all them in grade A, they did Juice World and we did Juice World. So it's like we collaborated on them and they started bringing Laroi around and, just doing a session here, a session there. And finally one day, like, I was just like, man, like he's a young kid, he's fire. I feel like he's going to be next. I feel like just no one's really got the potential out of him that he should be getting. So we just started booking studio sessions, and I feel like once we all started clicking, that's when like the gas started getting thrown on Laroi a little more. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm drunk and it's late. I've lost all of my patience. I'm about to get high. Pass me the split, bitch, I'ma face it. Young, rich, and waste. Probably on your bitch's playlist.
It was really just a process of us deciding to do the album, and I gave us like a deadline because I know if I don't give us a deadline, we're not gonna get it done, and we'll just wait for like the perfect thing. And that's kind of just like, hey, bro, time to put like the paintbrush down. You know what I mean? Just like let the world accept it for what it is. So I gave us the time limit of like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to do an album. Yep. And we did it in a month total. So it's just about what's the artist that we could get songs from in that period. Because I had songs on this album that were supposed to be on there that I had to take off because like artists started their rollout plans around the time I'm starting mine. Like, and labels are weird about where they drop music because they want it to only be on there. You know what I mean? So just the fact that like once I've got the album to a place where I was like, man, I have a really good like core of songs that I'm really proud of. Then I started and like, all right, well, it's internet money. Let's put some internet money artists on there. So I went and started picking like my favorite songs from Ty or my favorite song from Spirit. You know what I mean? And like doing this type of thing. And after that, I was just like, all right, that's missing like a couple more. And then we had a blast off with Juice and Trippy and Lost Me with Ian, Skies, and Mosey. And it was just like, we're here. So a lot of times, like, they'd be in the back seat, bro, like, honestly. And now there's a lot of producers who are coming out who are kind of trying to, I don't want to say be an artist or BD artist, but we're kind of just like, you know what? Let me just take this record. Let me go show you it's a hit song. Like Don Tyler Lemonade, that song was done in 2018. So actually 2017, 2017. So it's like, how do you get to this point? You know what I mean? Because if y'all heard all the other versions, it's not this hit record. Yeah. So we still had to go in and chisel out a good record into a hit record. You know what I mean? A lot of producers over the past decade, 2 decades, they didn't really do that anymore. I think we have like a real old school like type of mindset with making music, like Snoop Dogg and the Dogg Pound and all them, you know what I mean, with Dr. Dre and how they just did their whole thing. The Dungeon, like, bro, like everybody, you know what I mean? Like every type of, going up the 808 Mafia, eardrummers, that's a big influence on us, you know what I mean? So the fact that producers can just collectively like come together and like kind of just focus on artist development and overall song development is just crazy that people are still doing it now or like kind of getting back into it. No. Yeah. Even Lemonade, there's stuff in Lemonade that like I could sit here and tell you that like I listen to and I'm like,
yeah, we can fix that. Yeah.
Like whenever I was listening to mixes in my car, I didn't hear this. You know what I mean? But it's never perfect and like even everything like, but the people, they don't know that. They don't know what the creation process was behind the song. So they don't sit there and realize that you went for 2 days straight and turned down a perk in Gunna's verse. But I still hear it loud as hell. You know what I mean? Like they don't hear that. They just hear the overall song and they're like, oh, so-and-so is trash or so-and-so is good. Like I like his verse. I don't like his verse. Like, why'd you take this off? Like they don't care about like the overall creation of the shit really, to be honest. It all started with us. Like we didn't, it's not like Southside and all them, like they don't come out and like give you the game. They're not like, yo, we did this, whatever. You gotta watch. And that's the beautiful part. You know what I mean? Is you just watch them sit there and be like, everything they doing whenever they took the game over and were doing everything with Waka, you know, they did everything with Gucci. They was just running everything up. They had Southside going crazy, had Lex going crazy, and TM came out of nowhere, you know what I mean? They had Perps on there. They had everybody on there, bro. And it's just like, it's like the dream team. You watch the vlogs, you watch the tutorials, you watch all that shit with them like popping in the studios doing that. It's like, man, this is like what we want to do. You know what I mean? Like we already kind of do this on the internet, but like they're living the life we want to like live, you know what I mean? And as far as like Mike Will, like the fact that his shit was a little more like structured, he was signing producers and you seen the brand, it was everything, like regardless if it was Sway Lee or whoever, you just knew what eardrummers was, you know what I mean? Even if he didn't produce the beat, it was another just producer. They still had eardrummers on the song. They just put their branding everywhere and just showed you like, it's not about one singular producer. It's about everything. You know what I mean? I think it was more so whenever I got into the industry. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I've always like spoken up for the music, like for the producer community. Period. Like I got in beats with like Ninth Wonder, and I was one of the people who, like, I don't know if you're familiar with BeatStars, but I kind of elevated BeatStars to the website it was and got everybody using BeatStars. I synced my Flash store. I did a whole bunch of stuff as a producer. So I was kind of like a voice in the producer community always, just because I felt like, one, producers a lot, they're in their bedroom, they're not social, so they're afraid to show their faces, they're afraid to be who they are, like all this. And then on top of that, just they don't really know how to stand up for themselves a lot. And we take a beating as producers, honestly, like every day in the label shit, the artist shit, to everything. We're always like the least respected. So just the fact that we could come together and like just start pushing shit forward and showing producers like, yo, you don't have to do this. You can go be the artist. You can go sign the artist. You can go be the label. You know what I mean? It's kind of making producers realize like, hey, you could be more than a producer. Whenever I got into the industry and I was seeing all my favorite producers in the industry, and I'm like, you start checking shit and you start finding out little things like, damn, like I was really on the internet doing type beats, making more than them. Like, how, bro? Like they have this placement, that placement. They did this and they built this artist and they did that. And it just all boils down to like, it's all perception. And I just wanted more for producers. So that's when I was just like, listen, I don't want to just be a producer. I was like, I want to sign producers. I want to sign artists. I want to do a label. I want to do a clothing brand. I want to go tour as a DJ under internet money. There's nothing that we can't do. And it's just, it all believes with, there's nothing that you can do. I don't know, bro. I feel like people looking on the outside in, it feels like a fun environment, but there's a lot of pressure in this house, bro. Like we're working with the biggest artists every day. So if we have a bad session or a producer doesn't deliver or we don't get anything, I'm not letting them go back to the studio with me. You know what I mean? Like they need to pick their shit up before I allow them to come back and try again. Like, cause we only get X amount of chances with these artists. So in this house, bro, it's just a lot of pressure. It's a lot of like, yo, we got to be on it. People think it's all partying and fun and all that, but if you come in this house, if you stay in this house, that's how you know you're built for this. If you leave quick and you're not here anymore, it just goes to show you that you ain't tough. You ain't got it in you, because we be crucial. People be working on 400 beats every day. I'm like, I don't fuck with this. Like, this is ass. And it's just, I feel like now we're at the point where we all understand what each other like. And we're so good at like, just if we're in with Trippy tonight, you know what I mean? We're like, yo, we're working on Trippy shit. Like I just know everything he's working on and I know what he's trying to do with his music. I'm so tapped in with all these different artists. So I think it's the fact that we know exactly what they're trying to go for, and we all understand. They know just by listening to loops what I'm gonna pick, just because they heard me say no to everything so much. You know what I mean? It just helps. Once again, us all work on the same page of working as one. There's no problems whenever you're so honest with everybody. Like if I don't like something, I'm not gonna go sit around and like dwell on it. I'm just gonna say, yo, bro, I don't like this. And they respect the fact that I'm helping them not waste time making another beat that it's never gonna go anywhere. Just a give and take, man. It's a respect thing in the household. Well, I just feel like my mom always told me to like never hold your tongue. If you feel something, just say it regardless of who it offends. They can just be respectful of the fact that like you said how you felt. And if you're just being yourself, that's more than what 98% of people in the world are doing. You know what I mean? So with this music thing and internet money and everything, people just kind of lean on me to just kind of direct them and guide them. Like, it's not like I'm their dad or something like that. It's just like, it's just a different trust. It's like a big ass trust fall. Like they're trying to get to somewhere. They're either trying to be the biggest producers, or some of them want to be A&Rs or own their own labels or go do all this. And it's just like, all right, Taz, I see you're maneuvering behind the curtain in the scenes. Teach me, because I'm on the other side in the studio sessions. So I'm relying on you to like fill me in on everything and teach me how to take my shit to the next level and take my journey to where I'm supposed to be going. Every song on this album, like, artists don't want to be on songs with each other. They would record over a loop, and we would go take it and change the loop and make a new beat. And they're like, well, what happened to this or what? And then in the end, like, the fact that we did everything that we did and we were able to put out 17 records that I absolutely love with these artists still co-signing and everything, bro, that's a record in itself, because everybody has an ego. Nobody wants to work with anybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like, we found a way to make all of our favorite artists and artists that we help work with come together for us giving them a hit, or them giving us a hit for once. You know what I mean?